Hello and welcome, my name is Zoltán Tóth. Over here is our resident architect, as always, Mr. Illés Pap.
Hi there.
Today's webinar topic is ARCHLine.XP Live plugin for SketchUp. But what is ARCHLine.XP Live?
ARCHLine.XP Live is an ArcViz software. It's a very, very powerful software to create breathtaking visuals in literally seconds, as you will see. Also animations, and it's not only for architects, but also for interior designers and many other professionals. Let's see what it can do.
Our aim today is to reach this kind of visualization starting from a SketchUp model, and for this we have special help today. We have Alex from Portugal, who has many long years of training and using SketchUp, and today is going to help us. He's going to be our SketchUp hands, if I may say so.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Zoltan? Everything okay?
Everything's alright.
Having time to practice guitar in the past days?
Not as much as I would love to.
How about you, Pat? I don't know if you are a guitar player, but I suppose you must have some kind of a hobby on your own, right?
Yeah, it's guitar and harmonica, yeah.
Well, I have my own hobby, which is playing with Lego toys, like this small thing I've done. I know it's a little bit dummy, but I love it. If anyone here has the same hobby, please chat something. Then maybe we can talk about this later, okay? And maybe on November on Budapest we can talk about our hobby again.
We'll sure do. Yeah.
And it's very nice to be with you all. I hope everything is fine. My name is Alex. I'm from sunny Portugal. We live in the north of Portugal, in a very pleasant town and very quiet town called Braga. So let's talk about our presentation, shall we? So as you can see here, we have SketchUp. It's very known, this interface, very popular. And I'm going to open a model which was created not on SketchUp, it was created on ARCHLine.XP and was converted to SketchUp. But what I'm going to do here with a ARCHLine.XP file, you can do with any SKP file created on SketchUp on other kind of software and converted later. So I'm going to open the file. I just need to go here to File, then Open. Select the file, which is already here, and I will press Open. This time it's in Portuguese, but this means open. It's easy, I think. And as you can see, here is our model. It's a very modern house, and it's not very big. I think it's a modular house. And now what we are going to do is to explore it just a little bit so we can see the inside of this house. So I will create here a small section. I go here to section plane. I will define the section plane perpendicular to the red axis. I just press the right cursor key, and I'm going to choose here a point anywhere. It will ask me for the name, doesn't matter. And so I can see the interior of this house. I'm going to move a little bit so we can have a look even more. I think this is a kind of home office, something like that, and here maybe a bathroom, something. And let's move a little bit this section from here. Here we are in the kitchen. You can see there are the cabinets from the kitchen. We are cutting the other cabinets from here, and then we have some, I think, technical rooms, and we are already in the outside of the house. So this is a very simple model. As you can see, I'm going to delete the section that we don't need again. And as you can see, we don't have edges here. It's not because the edges are hidden, because if I go here to view edge style, all the edges and the profiles are activated, so we can't see them because they are hidden. So we need to activate here, but just because this is an ARCHLine.XP converted model, we have to activate here show hidden geometry, and then we can see all the edges that are hidden and were deleted from the drawing. Now the next step is to put this model inside of ARCHLine.XP Live, which is quite simple. You just need to install a plugin that will appear here. I have here is the toolbar. It consists only of one icon, but if I go here to extensions, I only have one option, nothing more. It's very easy and very simple to manipulate. And all I have to do using this drop down menu or clicking here, it will automatically open ARCHLine.XP Live, and then we can see the model inside of ARCHLine.XP Live. So just need to wait a few seconds, and here it is. I'm in the bottom of the building, just need to go a little up, and here we are. It looks a little bit dark because we don't have already lights in here. I think Pep will do that in a few seconds or in a few minutes, but I can already manipulate here the natural lights if I want, and explore it a little bit better like this, and have a wide view of our model. So the model is now inside of ARCHLine.XP Live. So now it's your turn.
Thanks, Alex. And now it's your turn, Nilesh. Let's see what you can do with this model.
Okay, thanks, Alex. So now this model is from SketchUp, which was from an external source, but if you model the same thing in SketchUp, that's the whole same thing. So now we have the SketchUp model imported and passed through to Live with the natural sunlight, with the materials, and now we need to brighten it up, fill it up with life, and turn it into a spectacular visual. So the first step to that is that we actually need to add a few lamps or anyhow else brighten up the scene. So now the first thing that I would suggest is we can actually go to the camera properties and change any of those values here. Now I will start with the exposure to turn it a little bit brighter like this. So And after that, I will go to the library here. There's the navigator, which has the objects, the materials, and light sources. Now I'm focusing on the objects, and here I have a library for the lamps. Now ARCHLine.XP Live is shipped with beautiful, good quality objects and materials. So now I will go with this, well, let's just start with this one. And if I just click and drag it onto this surface, it will create this pendant lamp here. And now it has a light source, so I can just edit its light source by clicking here and clicking on the light source itself, and I can just turn it on or off. I can change its intensity. Let's just make it a little bit brighter. I can change its color, and I can change whether it's a shadow caster or a helper light. I will explain this later, but this is a good feature to make your light sources a little bit more powerful. So now, well, actually we have a nice kitchen here behind us with a few spotlights. So here with those spotlights, what I want to do, I would like to add, now I already have the lamps here, so I don't need to add additional lamps. I need to add light sources. So I can find those here in the lighting. We have a basic spherical light source, like a point light, and the spot lamp. So what I can do, I can just click and drag this light source here, and I could keep clicking and dragging like that. But there is this continuous placement, which is a great helper if you just would like to select this thing and then just click. Well, let's just do that again. So this is the continuous placement. So let me just close this up here. So I just click here, and I just click here. So now I have those lamps over there with the light sources, with the extra light sources, and I can just keep repeating the same thing.
Maybe
for
on
example,
the other side.
Yeah, it's a nice symmetrical interior with two reflecting parts. So I will just add a light source over there, and over there. And I can also show you how to customize this if you go back to the edit lamps option. Then when you select any of those, let me just disable this continuous placement. I don't want to place anymore. So I click here, and then I can either change its intensity just as I did before, turn it on or off, and I can also change its angle, like the external cone or the internal cone. I can just fully customize and find the best, like the sweet spot of this light, how it looks best. So this is how you can add the lamps. And there is one another. I remember in this interior we actually have a reading lamp here at the left hand side. There will be a nice sofa coming here, actually here somewhere. So I will just place a light source here. That will be the same spotlight into this part, like for example this one, and you can already see how it affects the ground. Now, to make these light sources even more obvious, you can change how the sunlight works. Let me just disable this light panel. And here at the bottom we have this nice sunlight slider that we can actually just turn over to night. And now we can see how these things affect the interior. And whenever I would like to, I can just go back to, I don't know, like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I can start customizing the rest of the project.
One of these things could be the LED strips in the ceiling, because I know that we have some strips, but they are not alight yet. So how can you turn them on?
Yeah, well, actually, we have a few of those. If I click here, that's actually the wooden panel. If I click here, we can see how these light sources are actually originally modeled as like tubes. So if I click here and I just go to the edit materials, I can change it to anything that I want, and I can also select that, as this would be a chrome surface, a leather, matte material, something like that. And I can also change this to emissive like this. So now I have a nice emissive surface. And then just as we work with the materials now, I would like to focus on the wooden surface of this interior now. That is kind of very...
It's a focal point, so you have to get it right. So I understand that Live comes with its built-in library of textures and materials. So how do you use them?
Well, absolutely. You can find those. Those are in the second page of the navigator, with this little material pattern. And if you go to the wooden library, you can find, like, for example, let's just test with this mahogany. well, this looks cool, but
Yes.
let's just go with this brown
much
oak or
better.
something like that. And actually, again, just as in case of the objects, I don't need to click and drag one by one, but I can also change on the all instances mode. And if I change one instance, it will change the rest of the instances as well. So this is what I do. So quickly and easily, I can change the materials. It's again just a very simple method. You just click and drag over the surfaces.
Other things we have many of is grass, metal surfaces, and other things. So how do you change those?
Well, let's just zoom out a bit so we can see the whole building a little bit, and then well, let's just change this original texture from the grass to go to the environment library, and here I can find a few nice ground texture, and as my all instances mode is on, I can just click here and it changes everywhere on this project. I also have a nice asphalt here for the car. I will use let's just try this bright one or the dark one. Yeah, I think I'll go with this one.
Use either.
Yeah, and then let's just change the building itself. This building, the original building, it's kind of a combination of metal and wood. So here outside I have a nice metal surface. I will just go into the metal libraries and change this original into something like a dark metal, like this one. This is much better.
Don't forget this
Looks
is all
cool.
instances. So if you want to
Yeah.
do it one by one, you can do that too. And what happens if you're looking for a special material? You only know the name, so how can you find that in the library?
Well, if you would like to find anything like a special wood or metal or something like that, like for example, I don't know where copper is, then I just click into the search field and I type copper and I hit enter, and then I will find all sorts of materials that feature this. I have a bunch of other materials, but
These
this
are
is
all
how
coming with the model, aren't they?
Yeah. So now, well, actually, I also would like to change this this framing walls around this. This building is situated in a very close neighborhood. So what I do here, I just go to the. I think I find something in the environment that I would like to use here. That would be either the concrete when it's a bit bright, or the slate rock. This is a bit better. Well, actually, I can also create materials within Live, not just using the built-in library. Actually, I already did one. Here you can find this My Materials library. I can show you in screen. This is what I've created previously. Now, creating material in Live is a very, very simple thing. You just create a new folder with this icon here. This is how I created this one. You rename it the way you want, and then you just click here, and then you create the material, name it as you want, and then also you can browse the texture. Now, this is what I did. I have downloaded this texture from a free texture library, and then what I do with this one, I just click and drag and release it on the surface, and now this is how it will look like soon when I finish the design. So all about materials. This is what you can do if
glass
you use
surfaces. You haven't mentioned that.
yeah.
There's a large glass portal,
Yeah.
so probably that's something that we could spend some time on.
Now the glass is a bit too perfect. It's too perfectly transparent, and it has no reflection or something like that. So to spice it up, I will use the glass library. It comes with a bunch of predefined materials like this dark glass. I think it will fit this interior. It's a bit too dark, but as you can see, the reflections are nice. I could change the glass to something brighter, and it still has a little bit of reflection that you can see when you move your mouse over. So this is how you customize this design, and then now this is how we end up in the interior. And I think it would be nice to change the furniture as well, just to show an example how you can do that. So it goes the same way. You just try to find, I think we have something called walnut, which is a very nice dark material, this one. We have floor materials as well, but I would like to use this one here. And then, well,
Can you focus on
is cool.
something? Can you put something into focus when you want to edit it?
Yeah, well, I'll imagine that I'm too far and I don't want to zoom in or rotate the model, and you just select it and you hit the F key on the keyboard. That is for focus, and this is how you zoom into that. And also you can change the metal, like, I don't know, let's just find something chrome. Yep, and then let's just go with this darker chrome, like this one, or let's just try the brighter one, Well, I like this one.
I think this is good.
This is cool.
But speaking of objects and furniture pieces, if you want to furnish this model, where are the furniture pieces coming from?
Well, you can either import models, we will show you that, but let's start with the built-in library of the Navigator, which is featuring tons of beautiful high definition models for bathroom, also kitchen decorative items. So let's just place a few of those. Actually, here there will be a nice dining corner here, if we can talk about the corner in such an open space. So yes. Here, what I do, I just go to find tables, and I think this will fit this interior. Let's just go with this one. And if I don't like, I can just undo this step and try another one. You can also select an item and you can move it, rotate it, scale it, which we will do in a few seconds. Because I'm willing to place a chair. Let's just go with which would fit best.
I think the one with the wooden legs.
Perhaps this one.
I think that one.
That is
actually a matter of taste. So.
Yeah, it's kind of a counterpart of this one, so I like that.
Love it. So how do you make additional copies of it? You could obviously drag and drop it, or you could copy and paste them.
Well, you could use the continuous placement as we used it before, or you can just select the item, and once it's selected, no matter you are moving, rotating, or scaling it, you can select it and you hit the Control C. I mean, the copy shortcut, and then when you move your mouse over a surface and you paste it with Control V, then you have an additional copy. Now, these are all oriented as the original item, but if you would like to, then you can select those items, and then you can just click on rotate, and then you can just click and drag and find a nice new location like this one, a new orientation like this one, and so on. So this is how you can continuously keep changing the things.
One of the advantages of Live is that it can handle a large amount of surfaces. Something that you would be having a very difficult time doing in a CAD design environment. So can you illustrate somehow how can we handle surfaces?
Well, as a starter, I would place a nice like this flower here, because as you can see, this is very it's a nice detailed high fidelity model with all the nice reflections on its surfaces and with all the details. If it's too large, like in this case, I would like to place a smaller decorative item. I just move my mouse here into this middle of this whole gizmo, and I will just try to scale it down. Now actually it looks like it's on the edge of the desk, but it is floating because I just shrunk with its center point. Now I will just click on it and move it, and just match the surface of this desk. And
can you show a couple of other examples, maybe some more?
Well, let's just place, like for example, I like there's this nice cactus here. A lot of people like adding those into their interior, so I'll just place it here. And in the same way, I could add a nice flower like this philodendron into this corner, or perhaps it's blocking this way, so I will just move it somewhere over there. So wherever you can just place it, as you can see, it's a nice detailed object, some sort of heart leaf object, or you can actually combine two things together. Like let's just do it here. You can just find a nice pot, like this metal pot, and then you can just bring this area inside, and then now it's something that I like.
But you know what we need? A large flat screen. That would be nice to have on that wall.
Well, this is something that you can find. This is also decoration. You can find it if you just search for TV. If I don't remember where they are, I can just hit TV and try to find it. We have a few built-in objects with nice textures on them. So what I will do, let's just start with something that I can stand here. It's a curved stand TV, for example here. Now, by default, it's not necessarily pointing towards me. So what I do, I'm using the 1, 2, 3 shortcuts. These are for movement, rotation, and scaling. Then the second key is allowing me to rotate it in a way like this. Or maybe I can test another one, which is this wall mount TV. Let's just place it over here and then rotate it again and find a nice orientation like this, and perhaps bring it down a bit like this. So and if I like, then I can just turn off the the light source above it. So this is how you can spice things up, how you can bring new additional details into the model, and the same goes for the kitchen, and the same goes for this dining area.
Can we talk about the external things? Because when we talk about foliage, plants and other kind of things, we also should cover bushes and trees and hedges. So this is again something that could add more depth to your design. Even if you're working in interior design, you want to see something when you look out of the window. So how can you compensate for that?
Well, there's a built-in tree library with trees from several species and also with several sizes. As you can see, there's this tiny human figure standing next to those items, so you can guess what the proper size will be. And also the naming helps because it's Acacia confusia L, M, and S. So those are standing for the size of these items. So if I would like to place a small acacia here, I just click and drag and release, and then, as you guessed, I could use the continuous placement, and I can place another copy here. And as you can see, those are nicely blown in by the wind, so it's giving really nice, cool, realistic effect. So if I would like to, I can place another tree like this larger one over here, and another one over there like that. And I can even change their size. So if I don't like this size, I would like to make it a little bit larger than this, then I can just do the same thing like before. I can just select the item, change the rescale option, and then I can just change its size by moving the mouse down or up. And then when it's changing its position, I can just again move it up or down and finding the best spot that I wanted to do. And the same thing goes around here. Let me just add a few more things here.
Yes.
Like, for example, I would like to add a nice palm tree over here, and something like a larger tree over there, a different species like a populus over here.
And I think you already have an idea about that. Live is all about movement and all about life that you can, hence the name, by the way. So all kinds of elements with which you can add more depth, more immersion to your model. So at the end, we are not only going to get a couple of still images of our model, but we're also going to make some videos in which this movement could be expressed. Oh, we're even going to have some moving people in the room, if I'm not mistaken. And that takes us to one of the topics that we have to cover before we give the word back to Alex is how do you make views? Because if you're working in any kind of design software, you know that you are working from views, perspective or axonometric, but the point is that you need to have something which is saved and which is always the same.
Well, for example, here I would like to add hedges, so I will name this view as hedges, terrace with hedges or something like that. So if I would like to do that, I just go to this page. By default, actually, when you start working with the project, just as you saw on Alex's screen, it was starting with this first page, which is for the snapshots. These are your visuals. So you can add a new visual. You can erase an existing visual if you don't like that.
Can you name this?
And once you have this visual, it is also something that you can rename. Let's just name it. This is a terrace with bushes or something like, or hedges, and so on. So you can just name them properly, and then you can use those for navigation easily. So let me just create a new one.
Question here: these views, can you actually use them right now as images?
Yep.
If I want to send it to my clients, I want to save it in a certain resolution, and I want to send them right away. I don't want to invest too much time into making a model without knowing if it's going to fly, right?
Yeah.
So how can you do that?
Yeah, so let me add another one. Like, for example, for a fact, I know that this area represents a very nice view of this building that we would like to use later. So what I do, I will just create a new one, and I will name it in a different way, and I can create something with there will be a nice fireplace with a car here. So I will also create the view here, and then let me just navigate inside. So we create at least two views. One is pointing from this side to this one. So we will see this nice sofa coming here later. So I will just add this view. And then let me just turn over the camera to the kitchen, and then find another view like this, for example. I think something like this would go very well. Like like this. Okay, so let's just add that one. So I can use these for navigation,
Yes.
which is a very cool thing. And also I can find them right away as image files on my computer. So here what you can see, all those images that we can open up, and as you can see, this is image 1, image 2. We can see the results. These are the image files that we have created. So let's just go back to live, and then here now we have the visuals, and then let me just spice it up a little bit before we pass it back.
Yes.
So I will just go back to the view with the hedges, and I will really add those hedges. Those are, I believe, I remember those are here in the plants library. So I just add one. It's
I think
it's
you
a
would need
good
to
one,
move it.
but I need to rotate it. Yeah. So let's rotate that, and I think I will also shrink it a bit.
Maybe it's
a
too
bit
much.
It's a bit large, and then I just place it, for example, here, and then now I just copy.
I think you would need to move it downwards a bit.
Yeah,
I think it's still
perhaps
floating.
it's floating a bit. Yeah,
I love that it's just like a video game. You can just drag things and move them around. It's very playful and it's very easy.
Let's just place it over here, and then once it's done, I can just copy and paste additional copies and rotate them and move them, refine their position, and then this is the same way I can do that.
Now you
and
could
also,
pick up two and copy them, so that way you could boost the speed of your work.
and just again another combination of things. If you would like to add the pot, like let me just find a nice rectangular pot, and perhaps it's named different, so I will just go to the decoration and I'll use for example this one. I use this one. Let me just enlarge that, and then I will also add another plant into this one, like this one.
Question is that once you have added a plant, is there any way that you could handle it as one single object? So you could be, copying it and use it in a later project, and you don't have to assemble them again.
Yes, easily. What you can do is that, well, let me just find the one that I wanted to place. It's this one. So I just add it over there, and now I have this nice decorative part. So what I do, I can, first things first, holding down the Control key, I can select them, Control copy, and then Control paste. That's the same thing. Or I can go into my libraries. I actually already created a My Objects library here. So I can select them, and using this option here, I can create my item here. So this is the one that I've created. I can properly name it like a plant in a rectangular pot or something like that. And then I can just place another copy, for example, to that part, which actually I already saved the view, so I just go back there. So I'll just place another copy here. So this is how it works. And now I would like to literally paint this area with bushes. So what I will do, I will use this cool tool, which is the foliage painter. Now the foliage painter has a few bushes here. So there's the small grove, the bushes, the trees, and so on. So this is actually like a palette of objects that you can click and drag from the tree or the plant library. This is what you can assemble on your own. And then you can change the radius of the brush. Now I will just go with the default, so I'm happy with this one that I can see here. And I just click and drag my mouse, and I just paint this area with this one. So if you have something like an area of scattered foliage or something like that, this is a very useful thing.
Isn't it?
Yeah, because it's also randomized, and it is randomized by size, and it's randomized by scattering, how it is scattered all around. If you would like to turn this option off and go back to the views and select the original view, then this is how you navigate back. So this is when you would like to, like for example, paint this area with a large amount of literal 3D grass or something like that, or kind of like a grove around the building or something like that. This is a very, very useful thing.
Perfect. So we got onto this point. And as it so happens in the design process, sometimes you talk to your clients talk to you, and turns out that you have to change something. And in this scenario, we are going to ask Alex to go back to his SketchUp program and change something fundamental in the model. So we are going to change geometry, maybe some materials as well, and we are going to see how that change could be synced with what we already done here. We don't want to lose what we have created so far, but we want to merge these changes to his model. So over to Alex, and let's see what he has for us.
So let's go again to SketchUp and go to the outside of the house and see what we can do to improve our model. The customer wants us to make here a small swimming pool. So what I'm going to do is to select here the common rectangle, and I'm going to draw a rectangle from this point to the opposite point here. I'm going to press the upper key on our cursor key so I can draw a plane which is perpendicular to the blue axis. So here it is, and then I will make here an offset and do an offset for here inside. It doesn't matter the dimension. I'm going to choose it like this, and after that I go here for push-pull, and I will make a push-pull of this part of the model, which will be the walls of the swimming pool, and another push-pull here, just like this. I am not very worried with how the swimming pool is built. I'm just simulating the look, the final look, which is what matters to me now. So let's put some materials here. I'm going here for water, here on the SketchUp default library. I will choose water. Oops, sorry. And let's put some water here inside the swimming pool. And after that, let's go for a tile here. Select a tile and add a tile on the rest of the wall. So I'll press here the Shift key so I can add this material to every part that has. Oh, sorry, it shouldn't be here. Okay, now it's done. So next step is to add a few lamps here in the outside. So I go here for the 3D warehouse, so we can have lots of 3D models for free. We can download and we can insert in our SketchUp files. So I will search here for an exterior floor lamp, let's say, and it will give me a lot of things to choose. I think I'm going to choose this one. No, maybe this one because it is shorter than the other one. So I'm going to insert it directly. I just download it. It will ask me if I want to insert it directly on the SketchUp model. I will say yes. And the only concern I have here is to rotate it. I have to insert it right here, of course. And after that, I will choose the rotate command. I will choose here a point here on the top, and I will rotate it 90 degrees. Here it is. But I don't want just one lamp. I need several of them. So I will select again this one. I will select the move command because SketchUp doesn't have a copy command. You can use move and then change it to copy mode. I'm going to select here a point, so it will move. So I'll press Ctrl to change to copy mode, and I will make the first copy. I don't know which one it was. I think it was this one, doesn't matter. And I will divide this room for 3, maybe 4. Yes, I think it's cool. And we have here 5 lamps just beside the swimming pool. After that, let's go inside and let's put some furniture in here just to give you an idea of how we can transform this. And let's go again to 3D warehouse, and let's make a search for a sofa to put here. I'm going to search sofa. I will choose collections instead of models, because usually models everything is there. So collection, normally it's if people add these models to a collection, which means they have more quality than the other ones. So I choose here a model just like this one, for instance, and let's import it inside our SketchUp model. Here it is. Well, at least I think it is. I think it's kind of lost there. It's outside the house. This is the problem, because SketchUp is a user's 3D warehouse. Normally is a user's kind of library. So sometimes the files are not exactly how they should. So let's invert here the model, make a scale with -1, and I'm going to move it right here. Here we are. So we have our sofa inside our living area. So we have done our changes in our model. So if you go here for ARCHLine.XP Live, the sofa and the swimming pool is not there already. So to update, I just need to press again connect to ARCHLine.XP Live, and when I go back just a few moments later, the model will be synchronized with the SketchUp model, and we can see not only the sofa but also the swimming pools and all the lamps that I've added. So it's your turn, Pap, so do your magic.
Thank you very much. So what we are showing now is that the model is synchronized, but our work is not yet done. We are going to keep on adding more details, and we are going to see how Alex's new design elements would be merged with the things that we are creating in live now. So let's go back to live and see how do we proceed.
Okay, so, well, the first thing that I would like to add here is to match the materials with the ones that I've created, with the building. So I believe I used something of a dark metal here around, so I will just use the same color. I go to the libraries and then just use this option here, or I can actually use the white material here.
Yes, use whichever.
Like the basic white, and I just add it over here, so I can change and customize the way I want. I think in the end we ended up with something like this, and also the water I can test whether it looks...
Why is water special in live?
Well, the water is a special item, not because of it, whether how it's transparent is or not, but if you apply a water surface to something that you have designed to be a water, you will see a real waving, a water surface that is flowing around, as you can see. Also, you can test whether the pool water looks much better or the clean water looks much better. I think in this case it's a little better than the previous ones.
Yes.
So you can test it out, and it is just as the trees outside. It is blown by the wind, and it is really giving something of a realistic effect, like in real life.
Let's go on with decorating the model some more. I understand that we, in addition to the vegetation and foliage, we can add vehicles, we can add human figures. So let's see a few examples for that too. And don't forget that you also promised us to paint the surface some more. So
okay. So here, let me add a car here, because in the libraries we have a few cars, and you can extend the libraries with your own items. I just paste this car here, and I use the rotation to rotate it the way it best fits the current situation. And also, if I would like to, I can go and find a few human figures, like, for example, let me add May walking towards the car, and also let me just place Dennis into the design,
let's see what he's cooking. Don't forget that whenever you add somebody, you can also turn them, and you could even scale them, but we are not doing that. So you can move them, copy them, and I understand that there are some figures which are moving. Can you give us an example?
Well, if for example, let me just go around to the pool, someplace here, and let me just add. Well, Sophia has an animated version as well, so let me just add her to this place and let her check the water. So this is how it looks like. And also, if you would like to, you can spice the model up with further objects. You can again go online and try to import SKP, OBJ, or FBX files and use them as they would be ever part of the model. So you can just build up your own library, just as I did here. Because, for example, I have imported something for this fireplace. Now here, I have a bunch of logs that I wanted to add.
Firewood, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I did not change the way I wanted. It is just a regular object, but I can add something like a wooden material to it, and then I can let me just go into the library and just change it. And then I can go to the libraries, and the reason I'm willing to show you this is because here I would like to add some special effect, which is in the libraries here, and you can find them in the effects library. So you can, I think a smaller size fire would fit this very well. Like that, and it gives a lot of life into this model. And during the animation, which we will create soon, you will see all these things animated, recorded, and also on the snapshots you will have a nice snapshot of these things.
I think one important thing to highlight here is that we already talked about moving parts before when we talked about the trees, but what you have noticed that this is the rendered outcome, so we don't have to wait for the images to be rendered because we already work in that view, in that quality, which would be saved and sent to your clients. You said one thing about adding some more detail in the garden, maybe painting the surface some more.
Yeah, well, if I would like to, I can also go back to the foliage painter and try to add a little more detail with a little bit of grass or something like that here to really spice it up a little bit. And also I can customize adding a little bit of grass spots over there. And just as I did with the bushes, I will just, add a little more detail over there. So this way you can just quickly and easily add those tiny objects scattered around. And let me just highlight that actually to bring life into this, you can also always go to the library and try to find like individual ferns or little bushes like this here.
And that's where the design comes into picture. Try to find the best possible outcome for your model. Looks very, very good.
Yep.
Now you might notice that the surrounding is a bit barren. So we are in the middle of nowhere, and obviously we are focusing on the design, but there are a few tips you can use to make the surrounding a bit more interesting, which one could be is that you could add some larger trees around the hedges. But what other tricks can you show us?
Well, if you connect to the 3D warehouse, you can find objects that are like curvy surfaces. Well, actually, I did that before. So I have something either here or perhaps, no, it is in my objects library. So I actually downloaded something like this, this little part here. So let me just add it over there. It's, as you can see, it's a photograph of an area. So you can just, push it back down. And then when I go back to this part, it is nicely adding some.
It's a good illusion.
Detail. Yeah, so you can just import things like that and spice it up around, and or you can just use the built-in assets in the software. So this is how it really gives a lot of detail to the surrounding.
Perfect. So this is the stage until which we wanted to take this model. Obviously, the rest of these things would be rinse and repeat. So what Ilya could be doing is that he could be combining the things that he used before, and with that we could get to the final stage of the project, which we are asking Alex to load up, and then we can see on his end how the finalized product, finalized model looks like in SketchUp, and then we are going to import that into live, and we are going to do some nice tricks in that. Yes. So Alex, over to you.
So here we go again, and now we can see here the model that I was previously working, but I'm going to get rid of this one, and I'm going to open another one which was made already by Pep. So I just go here, File, Open, and now I will select this first file and open it. It will ask me if I want to change this one. Of course, I don't want to change it, don't worry. And now we will see the full model already with all the furniture and all the details, as if this is the later version of our file. Okay, it will ask me to fix because this is normal. It's a imported file from other software rather than SketchUp. It is not already available, sorry. Okay, and here we are. We have our model with furniture in the outside. We didn't have this one, and furniture inside. Let's put ourselves inside the house and have a look around. Let's go like this. I think the field of view is very small. Let's make it wider. I'm going to change here field of view to 70 degrees, let's say. Now we can see a little more from the house, and this is the end result of the file. There are some empty spots still here, and let's have a look around to the other side. And here we are. Let's enter this room by this door. And here is our bathroom. It's very detailed. Oh, there's your guitar, Zoltan. Here's the room. And here it is.
Thank you very much, Alex, for your help. We are going to take over now, but we are letting you go. In case you want to get in touch with Alex and get some of his SketchUp expertise, then his contact details are going to be in the video description. So over to the live model that we have here, there's still a lot to be done. So now we have the full model with all the equipment, nature, and textures. But now comes the export format. So how do we get the details that we need, the images, the videos, and whatnot?
Let's start first with a few things like the camera effects. Like for example, here on this view, which we ended up working with, is it's a nice view with quite a few depth. And if I would like to emphasize it, if I would like to change the way it looks like, I can go here to the camera properties, and I can change a whole lot of things to make it look even better. Now, for example, we first started working with the exposure, which is a cool thing. You can make the overall image a little bit brighter or darker just by changing the exposure. The same thing you can do with the brightness, contrast. You can even change the field of view. So if you would like to see a little bit wider range of what we have in screen, this is how you can customize the way it looks like. Also, you can go and change the saturation. You can desaturate it completely. Yes. Or you can create a little bit of oversaturated version to enhance the colors and make it a little bit more vivid than the original. And then you can also change the white balance, which gives, if you just dial it up a little bit, it will give it a nice summertime feeling, because it makes all the lights and all the colors a little bit more warmer. If you just change it going down, it will be like winter time, very cool bluish effect. But if you dial it up, it will be nice and sunny. So and if you would like to, then well, actually, whatever I do here, all the changes are changes for this specific view. Now, this did not change the other views. Those are still having the same original effect. Let me just try to find. I actually have another view with this part here. Well, I can't find it now. It's this one, yeah. So this one still cool. It's still with the original effects. But if I go back here, it is a bit warmer. So you can actually easily create two different versions of the same thing. And here comes an interesting part with the daytime and nighttime, which I will talk about soon. But first, let's just see at least one more effect, which is the depth of field. Now, if you just change the depth of field, now the camera is focusing here to the closer part of the image. But if you turn on autofocus, it will focus to the farther part of this image. And if you just make it stronger, then you can see that everything that is closer to the camera is kind of blurred very strong, as you can see here. Now, if I just do this, I use the same effect in a different view. Let me just find another one which has objects close to the camera
I think
and far from the camera, like somewhere in the kitchen, like this one. So here again, if I just zoom in a little bit, like this here. So again, if I just turn on the depth of field, see now this is how it works. And if I just turn on autofocus, if I just zoom in and focus onto this little object here in front of us, now this is in focus. And if I turn the camera to the other part, then now this is blurry and this is the other part is clear and crispy. Now this is how you can handle these effects. And
you mentioned something about alternatives from the same view. So
yeah.
How can you do that?
Well, let's just imagine I would like to create a night scene out of this bedroom view. Now in that case, what I do, I already have this view. I did not properly name it, but anyhow, I have this view. If I just would like to create a copy of it, I just click here. So now I have two different images out of the same frame. And then now what I will do, I will not customize this further. I'm happy with this, but I will change the sunlight. So if I just dial this down somewhere over there, and it's a nice sunset or something like that, or yeah, and I also change this the date, so it is having a little effect outside. So now I have a view which is different by the sky. And then now, as you can see here on the right hand side, so now if I go back to my views and I change from, let me just close this back, and if I change from this one to this one, we can see that the outside world scenario is changing. So now easily you can create different versions of these images, and you will see at the end that whatever we created, just as we discussed before, those are already images on our hard drive.
What's the way to save the camera effects to the other views? Because you had some very nice settings with the depth of field and also the sort of like the tone, saturation. How can you save those settings to the other views that you have?
Yeah, well, you can just go to the camera properties, and there you can find this option. This is for the update the snapshots with the changes. So in that case, I won't do that now, but in that case, I can copy clone all of the same field of view, same exposure, same everything to do all of my views if I don't want to make them each and every view a little bit different.
Nice.
And the same thing I can do with the sunlight. So here again, I have the same update option. If I click here, and if I would like to apply the same exact date and time, which is different from the previous one, then yeah, I can just copy and paste those settings as well. And the very important thing at the end, once I made a lot of changes, we just continuously did this today, changing the model from a very simple version of the model. We just enriched it, filled it up with live and content, and that obviously means that we have a lot of change in the views. Now everything that you can see here now at the bottom are all properly, fully updated to the current version. But if you just change those, it's something that you need to do at a time when you think that you would like to update everything. So if I click here, then now the software will recreate all the photographs with the current model status. So this is an important thing. So instead of taking snapshots one by one, the software is just going around again and just taking those photos and saving them and on your hard drive.
Now the pictures are ready to roll, but there's one thing in terms of export formats, and that is a video. So how do we create animations out of this? How do you customize the animation maybe?
Well, actually, as a starter, I have created 3 animations. So let me show you how those look like, and then I'll show you how to create one. So these animations are animation 1, 2, 3. So I created one on the exterior. Let's start with this one because this is a very simple one. I'm just panning the camera. Let me just play it. I'm just panning the camera from the right hand side to the left hand side slowly. It takes, like you can see at the right bottom corner, it takes 16 seconds to swipe through the building from the right hand side to the fireplace and the car. And this, I can make it even slower. Sometimes I can see that it is still too fast for a client presentation, but I can change its length, and I can just show you the other one that is in the living room part. This is like like a revolving camera around the living room space, and there is another one kind of similar from right hand side to the left hand side, and that's around the kitchen. So to create something like this, it is a very simple thing to do. What you need to do is to find the spot from where you would like to start. Like, let's say I would like to make an animation that starts from here and closes up on this part. So in that case, I add a new animation, which starts from keyframe 1. These are the keyframes here. And then you just move your camera or zoom to that spot where you would like to end up. And then you just add the new keyframe. So now I have animation 3, which I can properly name it anyhow else.
From the length?
frame 0 to frame 1, and then here you can change the length. So I think it should be around like 9 or 12 seconds, like that. And then if I move this playhead back and start playing it, I can tell whether I like the speed or not. I think it's a nice one. Slowly moving towards the...
Do you suggest to make one single animation going through all the corners of the room, or how should we do this?
No, instead of that, I always recommend doing short shots like this. And then actually you can, in the software, you can say that you have all sort of animations, like from this one to this one through the last one, and then you would like to handle them as one single video file, and then use a transition. And if you do that, I won't play it fully, but when you do that, it starts from this dark screen to the animation, and when it ends up at the end, you will see it's turning to dark, and then to the other scene, and then whatever you have changed are all reflected in this beautiful visual. It really takes a very, very short time to render into a video file, so you can easily share it with your clients. And then let me just stop it now. And then you can just hit this button to literally create the video file. It takes, and in a full HD video, we didn't discuss that, but the video now has a resolution that is described here, which is the window size, which is now full HD. So here's where you can change the snapshot resolution and the animation video resolution. And then when you hit this one, then the software will start creating the animation, and after like 4 or 5 minutes, this whole long full HD video will be fully generated and absolutely available for sharing.
That's right. So we actually did come a long way. Thanks for the amazing help of Alex for creating this, the opportunity to show you how to get a model from SketchUp and not only dress it up in ARCHLine Live, but also to show how to synchronize the changes in the model, because in the design process it's essential that we react to the changes as the clients are requesting. So I understand that we have a few pictures to look at from this model, and until while we are looking at those questions, you can still ask while we are looking at the images, you can still ask your questions, and at the end we are going to discuss the questions. I see a lot of them coming in regarding system requirements and recommended hardware, licensing and whatnot. We are going to answer the questions in a short while, but let's just look at the pictures of the finalized version that Illich has for us.
Yeah, and in the meantime, let me tell you that whatever you saw on screen is you are free to test on your own computer by going on our webpage www.ARCHLine.XP.com/live, and you can download the free trial version of Live. You can download the SketchUp plugin. If you have SketchUp Pro, you only need to install the Live software itself and the plugin, and then just as we described today, you can just pass over your own model and test it with your own model, how it works for you, and have a good play with it. I really recommend you to enjoy designing such beautiful designed images.
Yeah, the stunning visuals are just a few steps away, so give it a shot. And now on to the questions. First question here is if we have sequential copying enabled in ARCHLine.XP Live.
Well, sequential copying is not supported at the moment, but thanks to the live sync communication with the SketchUp software and also with the ARCHLine.XP design software, you can solve it in the design system. So not at the moment in the design system, but in the host software.
There's another one in the video that was played at the start of the webinar. I'm not sure if you remember that. Within the planning shot across the building frontage, a few objects suddenly appeared in the view as if by magic, such as the hedge, a car, and the male figure. Why was that, and is there any way of controlling it? That was actually 2 different videos that we did, one with and one without the objects, and we edited them together in a video editing software. So if what you are asking is if we have ability in the software to enable and disable the visibility as if with layers, we don't have that in
At
live.
the moment, it's
and
not
that was magic and trickery what you saw there.
Yeah.
Here's another question: where can I download the plugin for SketchUp? Let me just share my screen, and that way you can show the viewers. If you go to our website, ARCHLine.XP.com/product/ARCHLine.XP live, here you can find the plugin, and Nilesh is going to show you in a second.
Yeah, it's actually you just click here and you can download it. It's happening automatically, and this is the same place where you can download the free trial. So if you have SketchUp installed on your computer, you just install the SketchUp plugin and you install either the trial or the commercial license of the live software, and then you can do everything that we just did today, all together with the synchronization and the changes with the model, the animations and the snapshots and everything.
The plugin is free to download, by the way, so you don't have to pay for that.
Yes.
Here was not really a question, but it was more like an observation that ARCHLine.XP Live uses the same engine as it's the one which is used for video games. And that's something that we always say, that if you look at the market, if you're a gamer like Ilish, then you would know that the A-list video games more often than not use the same engine as ARCHLine.XP Live. Can you say a few words about the engine behind Live?
Well, the engine is very, very powerful. They also continuously develop it, and it's having great features. I saw a comment coming on about hardware ray tracing. Now that is a feature that the engine supports. Live does not support at the moment, but I'm pretty sure at a point it will. So if you saw anything about this engine individually, you can imagine the power, and then that's exactly what we deliver with Live, with all the visual quality, the assets that you can see here, the library items, the materials. We did not discuss those very cool materials which have that kind of 3D-like effect that is also thanks to the engine.
Yes.
So it's a very, very powerful one. Real time, just as you mentioned, that one of you mentioned in the comments, it has a few limitations, but still a very, very powerful, very good engine.
Speaking of power, let's talk about the system requirements, because it was also asked. So a few words about what kind of gear we have to have in order to run Live powerfully and in a good quality. So what do you recommend?
Yeah, well, so for that you can find 2 sort of recommendations. One is for complex design, that's like the recommended, and that is for moderate design, like smaller projects, less detailed versions of projects.
Like? So the thing that we showed, is it moderate or complex?
Well, this is somewhere in between. This is not a very, very, very dense model, but it already features a lot of tiny details, like features, objects with a lot of surfaces, quite a few reflection. So this is what makes it difficult to render for a computer. So for that you need to have at least a mediocre graphics card, which is determined by a value that is called G3D Mark. I will explain what that means in a short while. So if you work with moderate design, smaller projects, then this G3D Mark should be at least 3000 for your video card. And if you work for larger models, then it should meet at least 8000. So what that means, if I would like to know that, this is actually a link here. This here. If I click on this one, I land on the web page of this Passmark website, Passmark software. They are a very good company, collecting a lot of information of graphics cards, hardware, CPUs, and so on. So here you land on the video card list, and pretty sure you will find your video card. So as I remember, perhaps I have a GTX 1660. So if I just search for that, and I'm not pretty sure which one exactly, so I just look for this one. If I click on Find Video Card, and the first column is for the Passmark G3D Mark, and then I can see, even if I have the less powerful one, I still meet the one for the recommended settings for the complex design. So this is where you can find your graphics card. You only need to check the label on your laptop, or you go to the system settings, device manager, and you can find the type of the graphics card, and then you just go here. If you have dual video cards, like an Intel Plus something, like an NVIDIA or AMD, you should find the more powerful one, which is always not the Intel but the AMD or the NVIDIA for this manner at least. So for this purpose at least. So you should go here and find which in which field it falls into.
There are some other questions. Lots of questions are appearing. Thank you very much for all this kind of engagement.
Yeah.
So, can you copy an object from a start point to a finish point and divide by any number of copies? This is sequential copying, and this is something that you would do on the modeling software, not in Live. Live doesn't have this ability. Obviously, you could pick up something and paste it as many times as you want. But if you're looking for some kind of like array or matrix sequential copying, then that's something that you could do in the sending end of the design process, let that be SketchUp or ARCHLine or any other software product. Another question, and it's good that we are still on the website because it's about how to learn the software. Where should we start?
For that, if you are in the software, you just open up the menu with clicking on the bird, and you will see Learn, and then that actually lands on this page on Learn Live. And if I scroll down, this is actually kind of the online help with the 2 minutes videos, they're very, very short and focusing on only one specific topic. So if you are willing to know how to synchronize your project with Live, then there's the answer over there. Also, of course, if you have any questions, just leave a comment. Even when this show is already not live, just send us a comment or send us an email, and we are more than happy to answer you. And well, that's it about learning. And of course, visit our webinars. If you're not yet subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe, and then you will get a message when a new live event or a video comes up. And of course, if you like this content, please like us. And
yes, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you're never going to miss another show like this. For now, thank you very much for your attention and the questions. Great content. Thank you very much for delivering this presentation. Until next time, we bid you farewell. Check out our website for the upcoming shows. And until we meet again, happy designing. And have fun using the software. It's all about fun and games. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.